This is one I've been waiting for. The Real on Realtors coming at you live.
Welcome everybody to MH Live. I'm your host David Syracusa, here with my co-host Ed Salvatore, and we are going to have a great show today. How you doing, Ed?
Oh, I'm doing great. This is one I've been waiting for. The Real on Realtors.
Ed, we are going to be going over why people should not use a realtor to sell manufactured homes. Realtors have their lane, manufactured homes have their lane, and we're really going to separate the lanes, I guess.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. The good thing about this is going to be a show I've been waiting for because I got to deal with so many realtors out there that absolutely...
You sound like it's a burden.
Say, I can't wait till the market changes. I'm glad you could stop me. But I can't wait till the market changes so that we can get back to normalcy. Realtors are out there. They're scrambling around. You know, 71% of the realtors in 2025 didn't even have a listing or a sale. 15% had 1 to 4 listings, so they don't have much practice in listing, selling, or negotiating. So they're in a tight spot. Things are tough right now. Real estate market, a little rough, you know, but I can't wait till it switches over because you got so many realtors calling me, and they've got, you know, we're talking about that at the office.
What
does it take to become a realtor? What does it take?
Well,
Does it take some education?
Sure, it takes a lot. First of all, it takes a lot of money. It takes education. You know, when we go into real estate school, real estate class, first we have to take a week-long class, 40 hours. I think it's a 40-hour class, and then we have to pass a huge test, a very long, extensive state exam.
Do you have to pay anybody to tutor you? Is there tutors, or
no,
you just have to
buy
do
a
it
lot
on your
of
own?
tools. You could pay someone to tutor you as well.
Okay.
Yes, you could do that. But here's the thing: when you go through all the schooling and the education, because I think it's like 68 hours after that. I'm not quite sure. I've been a realtor for 19 years now. I'm not sure exactly about all the education now, but I know it's a lot.
Is there continuous education each year?
Every year, every 2 years you have to have continuous education.
And is there any dues that are paid by realtors?
Absolutely,
every year.
Paying dues, MLS dues.
Okay, so you remember 19 years ago. I'm going to take you back a little ways, okay? So you were married and had kids and everything. You're pretty proud of going through all that education and money to become what? A realtor?
A realtor. I was an expert in the real estate industry. I thought I was. I learned what I needed to learn. I thought I was an expert in the real estate industry. I'm licensed.
Your expectations were maybe $200,000, $300,000 homes, selling them, 1 or 2 a month, something like that.
I would say something like that.
Nowadays, the expectation's got to be higher. It's got to be, you're starting homes at $347 average here in Lake County. So you're looking at a realtor should come into this game and go, well, I'm going to be able to make a lot of money. I'm going to be able to sell $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 homes. My question is here. Now, I know that those realtors out there, they have a space and they should be there because they worked for it. But I don't think that coming home to the dinner table and tell them you spoke with Ed on a $20,000 mobile home on leased land was something that they're going to get a big slice of chocolate cake from their wife.
No. But here's the thing about it, and this is why you shouldn't, and this is why you should not use a realtor to sell a manufactured home. They are experts, let's say
real estate.
Are experts in real estate. You know, when we learned about condos, the laws about condos, the laws about townhomes and single-family homes. We learned laws about commercial real estate as well. We learned laws about ethics and things like that. But you know, one thing they never mentioned was manufactured homes.
No, that was the last thing.
Well, they didn't mention it because it's not part of real estate.
Right. It's chattel
property. So there's no need to learn about it because that's not in our realm of our license. And that's a whole nother issue too. Realtors, because they think they're realtors, they don't know that they can't even sell it. And if they do start selling manufactured homes, they have to be licensed in a different area of our industry, right? So that's the thing that they're experts in single-family homes. They're experts in all the other types of real estate.
They're good at that.
But they are not experts in manufactured homes. They don't know anything about manufactured homes. They don't know how manufactured homes are built, how they sell, They just don't. And what they do, Ed, what realtors really are, it's like a melting pot. A melting pot of everything. A melting pot of condos, of single-family homes, commercial real estate. And they say, hey, we have all these agents, hundreds of agents in hundreds of locations, all selling real property. Real property. That's what they're doing. They don't sell manufactured homes. Now, why would they, right? So now the real estate industry is in the toilet.
Yep.
And what happens? Well, now everybody wants to sell manufactured homes.
It's a funny thing. I mean, not too long ago, I remember being at a sporting event, and I ran into realtors, and they asked me what I did, and I said, I sell manufactured housing in leased land products. They're like, oh.
Yeah.
Very condescending.
The
I
nose
thought that
goes
was
up.
kind of, yeah. Well, that's good. I go, yeah. How's your business going right now?
How's your
Oh, yeah. It's a little tough out there in Florida. This and that and the other. I go, what's tough for us? I have to deal with you guys.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
I have to deal with you guys. They buy leads. And then they tell me they have a client, and I go, well, let me ask you. Have you met Mr. Garcia? No, just emails and stuff like that. I go, "Hey, what's his credit score, and how big is his dog?" And I start asking questions that's relevant to leased land ownership. I don't know. I really didn't think about like that. Does he have repo? Does he have any eviction? Does he have a felony? Well, does that matter? Does that matter? Yeah, it kind of matters when you're in a 55-plus community.
Again, they don't know.
So they don't know. But I get that constantly. It's not just one. So again, I go back and I go, let me ask you this. Why are you calling me and you have a client for a $20,000 manufactured home? Is it really that bad out there? Are you chasing that down?
It is.
And what's the commission on that? What's the commission?
It is for them.
It is. I know it is. But this is the reason why they're doing this.
Yeah.
Number one, they don't have anything else to do. Okay, so they're buying leads and they're just fishing. They're fishing.
Well, actually, when the lead comes in and they know it's on a manufactured home lead, they don't even want to work it. They're looking for someone to refer it to as quick as possible.
So I can see them in the office. They put 3 straws in their hand and they go, hey Ralph, here, grab one. Susie, Debbie.
So when
you
someone
get the short one, you got the manufactured home lead. Hey, go.
Right. So when someone actually does go and sends a lead in to a real estate agent, that real estate agent is just referring it to someone else. It probably could cost the person a little bit more money because they're using now a real estate agent that they shouldn't even use in the first place.
And I get that all the time. I get customers that say, we sent out and we were like, we sent out for this house and this guy knew nothing about it. I go, what do you mean know nothing? He didn't know nothing about it. He didn't, and so he started fishing and going, and then I couldn't get a hold of him again. What do you mean you couldn't get a hold of him? I told him my budget was $50,000. I called him on a $25,000 home, and he's like, he disappeared on me. He kind of ghosted me. We're going to continue this segment. It's going to be a little bit longer.
We're going to talk about if you're in the market for a new home and you need one-stop shopping, someone to handle the whole project, we have you covered. SunBelt Homes is an online new home dealer. To start, we provide amazing photos and specs, and our online only status means we can save you thousands of dollars. And by the way, it's not just the money we save you, it's a lot of gray hairs and a lot of time. We have decades of experience and can get the job done, not only fast, but responsibly. Senior management or ownership oversee every new home project, and that's why we've been in business 18 years and have a 4.7 star rating on Google. With hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of happy clients. Check with SunBelt first.
They could find our website. We have a lot of information in the library of our website. We have a lot of different pages about new homes. They could take a look at all the different floor plans and new homes. They can see about removal of homes. Our website's great information for anything in the mobile home business. But a lot of it is, I would say, talk to people like me. Pick up the phone and give me a call. That's the best way to do it.
All right, welcome back. MH Live. We're talking about the Real on Realtors today, right here on the Q, and you're going to stay tuned on this one here. Be sure to stay and start calling some friends. Tell them they're doing a great show today, the Real on Realtors. We talked about why realtors attracted some buyers. They got buyers because they were paying for listings. They were paying for buyers, exactly what they were doing. And they didn't even know what to do with the buyers, so they're contacting us because we know what we're doing.
Well, they didn't expect buyers looking for affordable housing. They're still hoping those buyers are buying those $500,000 and $400,000 single-family homes.
Right.
They're really not buying those. They're looking really for more affordable housing, and I think we have that later
Yes,
covered.
affordable housing is what we do. Now we're going to talk about them listing homes. Now this is crazy. Now you got to figure this out now. Why would a realtor that spent all that money, all that time, come and start selling manufactured housing? What could it be? Could it be money? Could it be driven by commission? Let me just give you an example. This happens all the time.
And sometimes, I just don't think realtors are as wholesome as they think.
Well, I'm going to get right down to the skinny on that right now. So, anyway, so they see a $60,000 home for sale. They call there and they talk to Mrs. Jones and they tell them what a great opportunity they have because their commission is going to be lower.
That's right.
It should be lower because you know nothing, okay?
Do nothing.
You know nothing. So your commission is going to be lower. They're going to hook you around for a 6-month contract. They're going to take your buyer, your $60,000 buyer, and they're going to tell them, well, Mr. Jones, if you took that $60,000 and you put it as a down payment, now remember, with the $60,000, you're still going to have park rent. What if I could? What if I could fix you up with a house for $150,000 to $180,000? You put that same amount down, and I'm going to make those payments less than what your community fee would be, or maybe a little higher than that. But community fees change, so it might even out in the next 5 years. Okay, I understand that.
So Ed, let me get this straight. So you're saying that a realtor is going to go into a home in a
Listing.
manufactured home community in a 55
Yep.
West Park, out of their lane altogether,
Right.
and they're basically doing it so they can put their sign in there,
Right?
attract a buyer.
They're using that as a pond.
Yeah. So
To
maybe
find a cash buyer.
so that buyer's got, say, $50,000 in cash, and then you're saying that would be a good down payment
Right.
for a site-built home, which
Right,
they probably have
$150,000 to $180,000.
a little bit more inventory in site-built.
Oh, they got a lot more.
because they co-broke in site-built homes.
Oh, yeah.
Now remember, we don't co-broke in
No.
our industry, so when they have that one house, they've got to be the one to sell it. Now, Ed, if they're real estate agents, where's the network of manufactured home buyers that they're going to have? They're not. All they're going to have
They're
is
waiting for somebody to come and call them on that sign.
Right.
And when they do, it's like having a little trap, okay?
a mousetrap.
Yep, when they call and they say, hey, let me ask you about this $60,000 house you got over here, so-and-so. Okay, let me tell you about it. The park rent's going to be this and that and the other. Are you going to be a cash buyer? Yeah, it's cash.
Or they may just say the buyer may just say the buyer may just say one thing. Oh, well, that park rent seems a little high.
They could mention that, but they're coming in. They like the house. They saw it on the internet. It was the blue one. It had the beautiful interior. It was great. They wanted it. So $60,000. What if I move you and show you site-built homes from $150,000 to $180,000? It'll all work out. The arithmetic is all going to work out for you. Now, what does that do for the person that they just listed that home for? It just took the buyer away. It moved them to another product. Now it wasn't good beneficial for the seller, was it? No. But let's see what it did for the agent. Let's see what it did for the agent. So if they would have sold the $60,000 home and done it properly, they would have brought in $3,600, okay? If they sold the $150,000 house, they'd bring in $9,000. If they brought in a $180,000 house, they brought that sale into that $11,000. Now, I'm not saying that they're dumb. I'm not saying anything, but they do know math. And I know they are hungry, and they will use your home as a pawn to move this customer over. If they cannot do it, then they're back to your house.
Because
Or another
they have
house.
more inventory in real estate than they do in manufactured homes. It's just-
Absolutely.
they have a lot more avenues that they can go to They can hop on the MLS and they can pull up every single listing in the whole county.
And the good thing is they don't have to be 55 plus.
That's right.
They can be 18 to 118, it doesn't matter.
Right.
So that buyer, they can go and look, and they
So-
call all their associates and everything, but they can't do that with manufactured housing.
The fact of the matter is, if you have a sign in front of your house that says realty on it,
Yes.
anywhere it says realtor, realty, you are getting the screw.
Yeah, you're done. Okay.
You are.
They'll sell it eventually, but they're going to use that to try to move people around.
Sure.
So if you look out your window right now, look out there, and you see that sign. If it says realty on it, then you could be getting used. I'm not saying you absolutely are getting used, but if it is a smart realtor and they want to make money, okay, then you could be used as a pawn. Now, let's look at our business, okay? We're not moving them to site-built homes. We're not moving them to condos. We're not sending them to villas. We're sending them to manufactured homes only. We're staying in our lane. We're not going to move that person that wanted to be in that lane. We're not moving them anywhere.
Yeah, but Ed, here's the thing. A real estate agent or a realtor, they're like their own little business. They're their own little entrepreneur. They're all by themselves. They
Yep.
basically do all their own marketing. They have to do all their own showings. They do all their own paperwork. They do everything. Okay?
It's amazing. And you guys do a great job out there at what you do.
But you know, when it comes to manufactured homes, a lot of them don't even know they have to get park approved, and you know, and they're asking us when they're, you know, it's funny, but they're their own little business. Where we here are, you know, this is
We're a supportive business.
yeah, we are a business. You know, we are the business. The whole team is the business. It's not like we're going to go ahead and we need to go ahead and flip them into another piece of property. If it's flipped into another piece of property, it's going to be another SunBelt property.
Staying in manufactured housing.
Exactly. They're staying in their lane. They're staying in their park.
That's what they wanted to do. They did research. They saw it was affordable. This is what they want. They didn't want a 15-year
Right.
mortgage. They just wanted to pay it off and be done.
Right.
So now let's just say, you got the realtor, now you got somebody above the realtor, and they're asking, well, gee, Susie, how come you didn't convert those people to what we really do? You see where it says realty on top of the building? Why did you go that route when you could have taken Mrs. Jones and moved her over here? So they're not even in good favor with their bosses.
Right, they'll be mad. The boss will be mad. I made less commission. The boss will make less commission if you move them to a smaller piece of property. So it's all about money. And that was my point, is when, you know, their business is all about money. They've got their own marketing that they do. They've
Yep.
got to make that money back. If they see that they can make $4,000 more by flipping that mobile home buyer onto a real estate product, you know they're going to do it.
They're definitely going to do
And
that.
our agents can't do that.
That's
Our
what
agents
I
can't
think.
do that. They're not real estate agents. Most of them are not. We have one or two that are, but they can't just flip them onto another manufactured home. I mean, or another piece of real estate.
Now, if they do want to go that route, we are servicing shared communities, deeded communities, manufactured homes on land. We do all
But
that.
they're going through that route before we get them to that house. I mean,
Right.
what we were talking about was a specific dishonesty that realtors are doing out there. Again, if you
It's
have
a
sign,
misjustice to the client.
I think it's both. Ed. If you have a sign in your yard that says realty on it, think again, think twice, and fire them. You should fire them. They should not be in your lane. They have no manufactured home network. They use all they have is their melting pot of real estate, their condos, their townhouses.
That's what they're gonna move
Their
into.
single family homes, their commercial properties. That's what realtors have. Anything that has real estate, that's their lane. That's what they do.
I ride through communities and, I go do listings and stuff like this. And I lose some to realtors, and I drive by these homes, I go, wow, so they went with a realtor. It humors me. So it gives me, when you're driving around all day and doing what I do, you gotta find humor. So every time I go by a realty sign, I just laugh. It just makes me happy. So to know that somebody got hoodwinked into doing that, and that they are getting used only to benefit whoever. They usually have a pretty picture of themselves on the on the sign.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Which is really, that really makes me laugh too. So she and he or whatever, they are representing themselves to sell that house, but it's still on the market 5-6 months later. I wonder how many homes they sold off of that house. There's not a number for that. You can't find that number.
And I think realtors really, their heads are really big.
Oh, they are.
I mean, they think that because they have the name realtor by their name. And you know what's even better is the realtors that have all those funny initials.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
I know what they are.
and they show up at the dining room table with a $20,000 deal.
You gotta love that. You gotta love that. And you know what else is good is, you know, the realtors, they have their own little network, the realtors network.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and some even have assistants. You know, some have assistants, and some, you know, they have title people that do the title, not mobile home titles, but real estate titles and more, you know, all that. But the team members know about as much as the realtor does about manufactured homes. Nothing.
Right.
And they're just going through the motions. They're probably putting a listing and saying, what is this? What is a roof over? I've never heard of a roof over. How do I describe a roof over on the MLS?
Yeah,
you know?
how can we put that in there?
Tie downs? What's this tie down? What does that mean? That's the foundation? You know, realtors don't get it. And so their assistants certainly are not going to get it.
No, they're not going to get it either. But the whole thing is the whole system is flawed, okay? That whole system of realtors in our lanes selling manufactured housing is just crazy. It's like somebody that went to school to be an aircraft mechanic, and all of a sudden they're working at Kia. Okay, that's about the best analogy I can give you. That's what it is. They know that it's an engine, and they know it's housing. Okay, but it's so far apart.
And you as the consumer, you have to know the difference between a manufactured home agent and a real estate agent, and the lanes that they drive in and the lanes that they produce in.
They're really manufactured home specialists, okay?
Sure.
It's not even just agent, it's specialty. It's a specialty product, it's specialized. So real estate out there, it's real estate.
Everybody's doing it. Because one good thing about manufactured homes is the affordability. It's never dull. I mean, it's never going to stop, Ed. It's not. It's always selling. We're always selling. We're always making money. Okay. Sometimes we make more.
Yep.
But we don't just stop, and that's what happens with realtors sometimes.
Realtors quit. Realtors, it gets too hard for them. You know, that's why a lot of realtors are just listers. They don't want to sell anything. They just want to be a lister. I'm going to list it. I'm going to throw it out there, list it. Somebody will sell it.
Another reason they come into our business is for the quick cash.
Oh, yeah.
Because, you know, a real estate closing...
that could wait 6 weeks.
Yeah, it could take so much longer to close a real estate listing, and they know here in our business, we can close one in 3 days and sell it and be done. And we often do that. If you go to SunBeltHomesales.com, you'll see the selection of homes that they have on their website. Go to the Google ratings, the SunBeltHomesales.com's Google ratings. You'll see it's a 4.7. You'll see all the reviews. You'll see why we have that.
Yeah, that's why they come to us, because we're specialized in this one product. We're not diversified. We don't need to be. We stay in our lane, and that's what we do. But we're really good at what we do. That's the point that we're trying to make. If you have a manufactured home in leased land, you should contact SunBelt Homes. That's what you should do.
That's right. And you can contact them today at 352-314-0900. The old thinking, the camper homes, well, that's just out. The trailer park talk, cheap, temporary, that's not anymore. New reality, modern designs, open layouts, high-end finishes, comparable safety and efficiency to site-built homes. Primary housing solution for Florida seniors. This is not your grandparents' home anymore, Ed. Check out these new manufactured homes that we're selling here at SunBelt Homes. They're great. If you're in the shop market for a new home, we are one-stop shopping for manufactured homes. Check us out at SunBeltHomesales.com, and stay tuned. We'll be right back right after these short messages.
You want something that's very affordable, we could build something solid that's going to be very good. We'll build something really nice for you. It just depends on what you want and how far you want to go with it. Because you could build one of these just like a regular home. I mean, you can put more insulation in the ceiling, more insulation in the floors. We could put impact-resistant windows on them if you want. And we actually can make them a smart home if you really want to go that route, but all that costs more money. So you always know what's going to cost with just your regular options. And then if you want a little something special, or you think you deserve a little bit more, we're able to do that for you too.
We are back, and we are talking about realtors, but there's other things we have to talk about too.
I know, I hate to get off this subject, though. I'm just really pumped up about this.
But one last warning: if you have a sign in your yard that says realty anywhere on it,
You're in trouble.
You're in trouble. Get rid of it, okay? So
You
get rid
are
of it.
in trouble.
We told you why. We've given you a whole bunch of reasons why realtors should not sell manufactured homes, why they're actually selling manufactured homes. It's kind of out of need and necessity. Maybe
They're hungry.
They're hungry, right?
They're hungry.
But that doesn't help you.
No.
And
The
that
thing,
does,
the thing about it is, though,
Yeah.
we're doing this because we did our first show because we didn't want the seniors to be taken advantage of.
yeah.
That was the whole thing. Whenever we found stuff that was going crazy, even in this backyard or in Texas, Alabama, wherever we have a network of agents. So we know what's going wrong and we watch out for seniors. This is not the right way to do things. We're doing it because we're looking for affordable housing for seniors moving to Florida. I especially take big care of that because I'm a Floridian, been here all my life, and I've been here in Central Florida, and I know, I've heard the trials and tribulations of, I worked so hard in the snow and trudged this, and it was so cold out there that this was my dream, okay? Now, that's a great thing, that's a great story. And if you can help somebody accomplish that, it makes you feel good. You know, it's not all about the money. It's that we care for you guys.
You're hiring a realtor. Why? Why would you hire? Why would you go to a heart doctor if you had a foot problem, or why would you go to a foot doctor if you had a heart problem? It doesn't make sense.
And the other thing with their cheap commission, let's take that. You're having laser surgery. We talked about it last week.
Right.
Now you gotta go find the cheapest doctor that you can find to work on your eyes. You got a legal problem. You gotta find. Oh, I heard Harry was a really cheap guy. That's the one I want. So let's talk about the other spectrum here. Let's say you wanted to sell your house and you wanted to let the community sell it for you.
Well, because you don't know what else to do. Because
Yeah.
you don't, you've been living in the community, the community manager sells,
Yeah.
you see they have the signs going up in the community, they have a sign.
A big flag.
Big flag, right?
But that's all usually on their new houses, but So the whole thing is let's talk about hours. You want to talk about the hours that they
I
put
would
in?
say that, that's one of the first things is when you are talking to a community manager about selling your home, I would say, well, what are your hours of operation, right?
And
What are yours, Ed?
Mine's 7 to 7, 7 days a week.
Right, okay.
I work any day that ends with Y, okay?
Right. And that's most typical of any agent or even a real estate agent, I guess, But any manufactured home specialist, we are working 7 days a week, and that's just how it is. Now, those managers, sometimes they leave at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, but they certainly work Monday through Fridays. Some leave at noon. I know some communities, they leave at noon.
12 to
Some leave
3,
at 2
typically.
or 3. Some work till 5,
Yeah.
okay? But that is all you're going to get out of those managers. And remember, they're doing another job.
They're doing 2 other jobs.
3 other jobs, really, yeah.
One job is they're taking care of the maintenance of the community.
Right.
So they have to direct all that, and they have to deal with that.
Oh, there's a water leak. There's a boil water alert. We've got to put all the signs on everybody's yard. Oh, we've got to do this. Absolutely. There's always got something like that to do.
And then you have complaints. You have to deal
yeah.
with complaints.
And then you have also, hey, someone else is changing the oil in the yard. You got to get rid of that. Get rid of that car. Or
That's a
whatnot.
complaint. There you go. And then you gotta
gotta
collect.
police.
You gotta collect rent.
Oh, that's the biggie.
First
Week of the month. The park managers aren't doing anything but bank deposits.
Yep.
They're collecting checks, and they have to write bank deposits for every single person. Now, a lot of people now
They got
are
it on auto.
debit now,
Right.
but they still have to do the accounting,
Mhm.
and that takes the very first week. They've got to figure out who paid, who didn't pay, who's late pay, who's got to get a
Let's
late
go chase
charge. So they're doing all that too. Now that's the person who you're putting in charge of selling your house. And now here's the biggest thing, man.
I'll tell him.
Okay,
I'll
well, let me see if you're reading my mind.
Okay, I know I am. I'm Italian.
Okay.
So anyway, so I have Charlie. Charlie is on auto deduct. He's been there for
He read my
5
mind.
years. He's been on the HOA board. He's a really great member. He's actually the cook during any of the events. He also calls bingo, okay?
Yeah.
And he also runs the fishing tournament. Charlie wants to sell his house. Now, why would the manager be really motivated to sell Charlie's house and take a chance on Joe?
Exactly. Why?
It wouldn't
Why?
be good, would it?
And you know, go ahead.
Joe, he could come in there, lie about different things on his application, come in there, have 3 dogs, work on his car in the driveway, and then move the car, bring the boat in, work on that. Of course, now he's got to bring the RV because they're getting ready to load for a couple days and take off. And then Joe's gone, and the neighbors are sitting there going, what happened? What happened to Charlie? Who's going to call bingo? Who's cooking? Who's doing it?
And it's a big conflict of interest. It's a big conflict of interest. You do not want your community manager to sell your home.
But if you want to get your house sold by the community, this is what I suggest. Play your music loud.
There you go.
Don't cut the grass.
No.
Just be up there and just do the opposite of your neighbors.
Be the pain in the butt.
Look at both your neighbors and go, oh boy, they really do that. No, don't do it like that. Just do the opposite. And then that way, they will have motivation to move your home.
Isn't it crazy?
That's just a bad way of selling.
The games you have to play if you want to play in your community. Now listen, that's why we opened the business, SunBelt, to give you a choice. Because back before people like SunBelt were around 30 years ago, 20 years ago, then
They only had the
managers. Yeah, then they controlled everything.
The other thing about this is, if they don't like Joe, but he's got it, he's teetering on credit, this and that and the other, they don't have to accept Joe.
Oh, that's right.
So your house didn't get sold. You got a contract, you're really excited, you got the boxes out there, you told your brother, your sister, they're coming down to fly down to help you move, and all of a sudden, Joe just didn't qualify.
Mm-hmm. Go figure. Or Ed, here's one. What if the house is in a great location and the community always wanted that location because they wanted to put something different there?
Like a new home.
Something like that. And they just want, and they maybe know that you're a late pay, a slow pay.
You had a health issue.
Whatnot, and you came to them to maybe sell the home, but they couldn't sell it either, and now you can't afford it anymore, and you have to return the whole home to the community because you can't pay the lot rent anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And they
That
get the
could
house.
happen too.
And they get the house.
Then they refurbish it, and then they sell it for a profit.
Or they take it off and do what they want with that
Put a new
lot
one,
because
put
it
a
was
new
in a
one.
great location and they
Yep.
want to.
That's the new dog park.
Put something else there, right? Whatever. And so that happens, and they're very manipulative, and they're not like your friends like you think they are. Okay, they could be very manipulative, just like anyone out there. It's buyer beware. You have to take care of yourself, and a SunBelt will definitely take care of you as well.
Now, when you're selling the house, again, you need to think about what you're selling. If you're selling a yacht, you wouldn't have a boat salesman sell
No.
a yacht. Okay, it's just
A golf cart salesman should not sell a manufactured home,
and they shouldn't sell a Ferrari either.
right?
So I mean, this
With
is
golf carts.
this is the night and day of selling homes. And again, if you're paying $800,000 a month and you're not living there, commission should not be. That should be the last thing on your mind.
So, one thing too they say, Ed, is, why, when the park managers will say, tell them about why they should go with the park to sell the home, the park manager's going to say, hey, if you want to sell your home, you should come to us because everybody's just going to drive into the community and they're going to drive in the community and we're going to show them your home.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think it really works that way anymore, man. People are
No.
online. They're not
Online,
driving
they're
through
going
communities
everywhere.
anymore. Back in the day, they may have drove through a community, stopped at the clubhouse, stopped at the manager's office to look at some inventory. It doesn't go like that anymore.
But the manager is a manager / administrator, last thing sales.
That's last thing, sales. Right. You said it. You know what their first thing is? Is their email hordes. Because every morning, if they work for a corporation, a corporate management system, every morning, they probably have 100 emails they have to go through, at the least.
The regionals, everybody.
Everybody's telling them what to do.
Exactly.
Okay, so everybody's pushing them where to go, and then they have to manage your house too. That's just. And then again, there's all the marketing that they do. So I'm going to go ahead and I want to list it right now.
Marketing?
Of
Okay.
marketing that the community managers do. So I'm going to list it right now. Are you ready? Here we go.
Go ahead. That's it? That's all the marketing they do? No, they put the flag out there.
Oh, okay, I'll go with that. They put a flag out.
Yep.
And
New homes.
But it says new homes. And that's the thing, Ed. So here's another thing. If they have new homes they're trying to sell,
What? Well, pre-owned.
and pre-owned,
Yeah.
and new. So say the community has new homes they're trying to sell, but yet they also have pre-owned homes that other community residents are trying to sell. Now, what do you think they're going to try to sell first? Obviously, the community's new homes.
Feeling the community's new homes.
And remember, because they're priced more, they probably make a little more commission on selling a community
Also,
home.
somebody above them's telling them they're going to sell that
You
new
better
home.
sell that new home. Someone's telling them you better sell that new home.
It better happen.
That's right. That's, you're our boss when we sell one of your homes. You're our boss. And you're not going to get the same treatment when you go to a manager.
No. We talk to you about it, and we're there. You call, we talk. I don't even like texting or anything. Just call me. Let's work it out. Well, it's not selling right now. This is what we need to do. This is what I see. I can actually tell them stuff that actually makes sense, and we adjust. And it's not only price. It's not only price.
Right.
Everybody wants to use the P word, throw that out there. No, it ain't that. Sometimes it's just adjustment. It could be adjustment. I'm not going to teach agents, so I'll just put it to you that way.
Right.
It could be adjustments, okay? So that's the skinny on that. I don't think that you should go with realtors. I don't think you should go with park managers. I think you should go, if you're going to be losing money, especially in this market's a little tough, you should go with experts that know how to move this kind of product. This is what we specialize in.
So now what you have to do is look at the experts in the industry, who they are. SunBelt is one of them, and then there's other people that do it as well.
Yeah.
And now you should make those informed decisions. Look at the Google reviews, look at the members.
Look at their website.
The websites.
Look at how
absolutely.
easy it is to access your house on their website. That should take you to the limit there, especially if it's a realtor.
Yep.
Oh my goodness, you get you some iced tea and some popcorn. You're gonna be on there for a while.
That's right. Go to their website, then come on to ours and
Yep.
compare. And that's what you need to do when you're hiring someone. They could have a friendly
like a
face.
resume.
They could have a friendly face. They could have a really great talk, a really good rap. But that's not going to really sell your home. The cute face, the good rap, it's not going to sell your home. They have to have the whole package. You got to find someone who has the whole package.
It's gonna be selling something. If I'm buying something, I ask the people, so now, how long have you been selling this? That's one of the important questions. Now, you've only been there a month or two, even a year. They don't have that much experience. You really don't. Because how many listings do you have? I got 4. Hey,
Right.
in a year.
Right.
It's not good. It's what you need to do. If you're trying to save money, we're gonna cost a little bit more. If you want results, we're gonna get you higher return on your money.
Yeah, I think quicker return too, quicker results.
Yep.
Especially from a real estate company. There's no reason a real estate company should ever sell a manufactured home quicker than us.
No.
It just
No,
doesn't
no,
make
no,
sense.
no.
It
No.
wouldn't make sense.
And they can't advise you the way that we can advise you.
Not at all.
So it's just a matter of this. What do you want to do when it comes to selling your house and you vacated your house? You're leaving now. You're getting ready to leave. Go back up north. This is your day. The next 2 weeks you're going to be leaving. What are you going to do? Are you going to go for the cheap type, inexperienced, or are you going to go for a specialist to sell your home?
And I think the answer is clear. I think they need to go with the specialist. Remember, if you have a sign in your yard that says realty,
It's not good, folks.
get it out. It's not
Change companies. Let's do it.
Let's do it
I'm
today.
ready.
Hey, listen, we hope you enjoyed the show. We gave you the real truth, the raw truth, the God's honest truth.
And we got our new sign.
And we got our new sign, MH Live. Okay. Hey, and again, thanks for another great episode of MH Live. We're here every week just jamming, rapping, and giving you all the
Truth.
Yeah, all the truth in the MH market. So thanks again for listening, and we'll be back next week.